Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is My Tool. Guess what I got to see tonight? Or last night, because it's after midnight. For the first time in my life, I got to see my high school yearbook. Guess what? My picture was not in my high school yearbook. I don't remember them inviting me to have my picture taken. My name was in there, in the very, very back. You know, you look at my high school today, and you look at my high school, what, 30 plus years ago, and it's not the same. We had one black student, and he was blind. I don't remember any Hispanic students, but from looking at the yearbook, there were maybe a couple. We did have a lot of Asian students, a lot of Vietnamese students. But you look at the yearbook and you don't see them in there. Well, you see one or two, maybe one. And that's it. It was a lily white school. It was a redneck school. We had, you know, a level system. And
they'd run you out if your skin wasn't the right color.
Yeah, they would run you out if your skin wasn't the right color. At least try to. You know, and we went to school with rifles and shotguns in the back of the car, or not the car, but the trucks. Nobody said anything. You know, you weren't supposed to have facial hair. Although if you look in the pictures, there were maybe one or two people that had a little bit of it, you know, peach fuzz, more or less. For the most part, you know, the guys had short hair. We still had that 70s look, even though it was in the 80s. You know, because it was 83, so, you know, we still had that 70s thing going. You know, we had started high school in the 70s, so, you know, we still had that 70s thing going on. There were pictures from the prom, but looking at it on the computer, it's kind of hard for me to see anything. So I can't tell you if there's a picture of me from the prom or not. Probably not, even though I did go, but I left early. I went to one football game. It was the homecoming game, but I don't recall what year that was. Guess what? They still had back then that you couldn't have anymore. They had Slave Day. You know, you have a slave for a day. They like supposed to follow you around and do everything for you. You know, I think it was like a fundraiser kind of thing. We had the Powder Puffs, which were the guys who would be the cheerleaders. Now, my best friend, he was in band. Now, in the back, there's an advertisement section, and the church I went to has an advertisement. They had pictures of the youth group. I went to that youth group, so it's possible there's a picture of me from there. But 1983, would that be 30 or 35 years?
Huh?
1983, would that be 30 or 35 years?
93, 03, 13, 30 years.
30 years, people. I'll get into something else here. I never thought I'd live much past 18. You know, I spent a lot of my time in institutions of one sort or another. And, you know, the only full year of high school at home was my senior year. And I did work study, which meant I went to class every other week at night for 2 hours. Although there were maybe a couple of other things we were supposed to do, but outside of that, I didn't look to see if Danny Miller's name was there, although I think his mom had changed his last name, like maybe she got remarried or something. Because I saw him in class, and we didn't talk anymore. We went to elementary school, middle school, high school together. We were locked up together. Paul Burkhart. Now, Paul Burkhart had a lot of issues, but we went to elementary school together. We may have gone to middle school together, but we were in Devereaux together, just like Danny and I were. But, you know, my time in Devereaux and Austin really...
It's best forgotten.
Yeah. Because I never thought I'd live to be 18, and once I got to 18, I was like, any day now, I'm going to die any day now. You know, it wasn't something that I feared, it was just, you know, hey, it's going to happen. But, look, it's been 30 years. You can do it as well. I've made it. I'm not a survivor. I've gone beyond being a survivor. I have a life, and I have a beautiful wife who can't see, but she's over there. The last video, I think you can see her in. But I want to say to everybody at Alief-Hastings High School, class of '83, I'd like to know how you're doing. It's been 30 years. Am I going to remember you? Probably not. At least the vast majority of you I'm not going to remember. It's been a long time. I was a kicker. That's what I was. You had the rednecks, then you had the kickers, and you had everybody else. And I remember we didn't care too much for long hairs, but days gone by.